Well, hey there. Welcome. I'm Tiffany Webster, and this is the Homeschool Company podcast, episode 1. I'm so glad you're here, and it's so great to meet you. If you are a mom looking to chat about all things related to creating an education lifestyle you love, then you are in good company. I created the Homeschool Company to create this community for moms who are managing work and life and school and all the things. And I am right there with you. I'm a wife and a mom of 3 boys, an educator, and a food and wine lover. And I'm not going to lie, there probably will be a little food and wine talk that does slip into our conversations every now and then. But really, I am here for you. And I'm so excited about it. You are my why for doing this podcast, for sure. I teach homeschooling moms like you. More on my definition of what I consider homeschool in a minute, but the simple action steps for getting started, building up your self-confidence, and educating your kids on your own terms so that you can create an education lifestyle you love. So let's get down to a little bit about who I am and how I can serve you and what I'm here for. So a little bit about me is that my background is in K-12 education. I've been an educator and administrator for over 20 years, and I have a ton of credentials that I've earned in that period of time, including a master's in education. I have an administrative credential. I have a single subject high school English credential. I have a multiple subject teaching credential. I have a bachelor's of arts in communication. So I've kind of racked up a lot of degrees there in my years of education, but I love that. And my career has been kind of interesting. It's taken me to a couple of different places, and I've actually been really lucky because I've had great experiences in all the different schools that I've worked for, and all of the parents and students that I've worked with have really been good. But it really kind of wasn't in my original plan to have all these different experiences. That just kind of happened. I mean, I thought I would just be a teacher in a regular, traditional brick and mortar public school. I thought that was just going to be my pathway. I didn't really consider any other options. And life just kind of took a different turn for me. I did that for a while, and then I stayed home and had my first son. And then when I went back to school, looking for a position, there was a position available for a charter school. And I literally had no idea what that was. I mean, I went to just check it out to just find out what is a charter school, which turns out is just another publicly funded type of school. It just runs a little bit differently. And so from there, I really enjoyed the charter school world. And this particular charter school was great because it was a hybrid of some time that we could work at home with our kids and some time that we were in the classroom. So about 70% of it was on site, and the other 30% was this home study component, which was great. So I loved it. I was a teacher there for a while, and then I took over as the administrator of that program. And then I was a mom, and my kids kind of always went where I went. So they had that experience as well. And it was really great because we had a chance to kind of dip our toes into that world, which I wasn't anticipating. So that was a lot of fun. I've also had a chance to work for a virtual school that does a lot of online learning. That's another awesome experience as well. It's not for everybody, but for those that really like that experience, it really does offer a really unique way of learning that I happen to personally be a fan of. I love all things digital, and I'm very excited about the world of digital learning and digital courses and more on that. But that's another great platform. And so I've had a chance to work in that arena too of schools, working for virtual schools. And then, I ended up homeschooling my own kids at one point as well. So part of that was related to the pandemic, of course, and being at home with my kids and just thinking like, oh my gosh, there's no way that I can have my kids on computer with like 5 different teachers. This was like my middle schooler at the time. And then I'm trying to work from home. My husband's trying to work from home. It seemed like impossible to be on all those different schedules and not have a say in what was going on and what was being taught. My son, it turns out, needed a surgery during that time. So just for a plethora of reasons, I ended up finding myself totally homeschooling, which I never planned on. And in California, where I live, that included filing what we call a PSA or a private school affidavit. So, I mean, that was just kind of like so extreme from what I ever imagined myself doing, but it ended up being a really great experience for us as well. So all of that just to say, like, I have had a ton of different types of experiences as both a mom and as an educator. And I just can't wait to share all of that with you. And I know that it's going to really allow me to connect with you and really support you in the place that you are on in your journey. And to be honest, like what I found after doing all of those years in the classroom and working with students, I really loved working with the moms. The moms were really great. I loved like coaching moms, supporting moms, helping them with figuring out the homeschool side of whatever it was that they were working on with their kids. And it just really struck a chord with me. So that's kind of my passion and why I am here today working on building this community for all of you. And I just couldn't be more excited about it. So I mentioned earlier that I kind of have a unique definition of homeschool. And this can be controversial, I guess, because some people really have staunch opinions about what they feel homeschool is or homeschool isn't. And yes, there are some actual literal definitions that different, entities really care about making sure that you use it in the right way. And fair enough, that's fine. But for my intents and purposes, I have a pretty broad sense of what homeschool means. So for me, like homeschool could be that, you're working from home and you just want to have a little bit of support and in learning how to work with your kids at home a little bit better. Maybe you are just kind of dabbling to see if you like the idea of homeschool. Maybe you are totally committed to the idea of homeschool and you are set on doing your own thing. That is totally fine. Maybe your kids are enrolled in a charter school program or like I did for a little while, some sort of hybrid program. That to me kind of involves some level of schooling at home, so that counts too. Other people are involved in like micro schools and pods, and those things are becoming really popular in California. And I don't know if they are where you are, but that's something that we're seeing a lot of an uptick in is those little micro schools. And actually, they're not really so little. They're really growing. That's a big trend. Independent study. I mean, there's just so many different variations that fall under the category of homeschool. So no matter what your version of homeschool is, you are welcome here and you are in the right place. And I can definitely support you. And I am super excited about having the diversity of homeschool experiences in our community here. And that's one of the ways that we really build that education lifestyle that I talk about. It's not just, one way of doing something. It's about figuring out how to create a lifestyle that works for you, works for your family. And it also happens during different seasons for different reasons. And I will talk about that a lot. As in my own story, like I did not have a plan going into that this is how my road was going to go with educating my kids. I shouldn't just say mine, my husband's included too. We did not expect that necessarily, but we kind of went with it and let it go where my jobs went and where opportunities were. And it really opened our eyes and our hearts to lots of different ways that we can think about educating kids. So I hope that you come to our community with that open mind too, and just know that there's not just one way to do it. There's lots of fun ways that we can, connect and share our ideas, even if we are coming at it from different places. So one of the things that I think is really great is that regardless of where you are on this journey, you're probably at a place right now where you are just looking for a fresh start or a way of doing something a little bit different or a way of just, making some sort of a change or a new beginning. And so with that in mind, it really comes down to having that confidence really to approach it and feel like you can do this. I know it's challenging at times for sure, but getting your head and your heart in the right place is definitely where we want to start. So to help you out with that, I've created a really easy, simple to follow, fun guide. It's my 7 simple strategies that every new homeschool mom should know. It's a free guide and you can grab your copy over at learntohomeschool.com/freebie. I will also link that to the show notes. But this free guide, I think, is just a good way to kind of get your little reset going. Or if you're brand new to homeschool and you just kind of want the first few things that you need to start thinking about, this is a great guide for you. So again, it's called the Boost Your Self-Confidence 7 Simple Strategies Every New Homeschool Mom Should Know. And you can grab it at learntohomeschool.com/freebie. freebie. I think you're going to love it. And there's kind of like a fun take on things. You'll start to know my personality a little bit, and that sometimes I like to just have some fun, give things a little bit of levity in life. And so I think you'll enjoy that. And you don't have to be a new to homeschool mom in order to get something out of that. I think even if you're a seasoned homeschool mom, you'll probably find a few little nuggets in there that make it worthwhile for you. So please go and check that out so we can connect, because at the end of that little freebie, there'll be a link to a form that you can fill out, and that will give you a chance to share a little bit about yourself with me, and I would love to get to know you. And so if you would go ahead and fill out that little form, then we can keep our conversation going, and it'll really help me to continue to create more things that are aligned with what you need and how I can best serve you. And speaking of that, I have a little something in mind that I don't want to say too much about, but I plan to really spoil my listeners here as we build our community together. So if you're liking this podcast and if you like the freebie once you go and download it, I want to know that, because I have a little bonus in mind for you, but I want to make sure it's perfect. So if you get a chance to give me your feedback and you like what you're hearing here and you like the freebie, then I think you're going to be happy with a couple bonuses that I have planned that are coming your way. So as we kind of wrap up, this is just a little short little introduction episode here today. I just kind of wanted to leave you with this. We are on this journey together, and I know you are here because you want something different for your kids and for your family. And I know that you are craving the freedom to educate your kids on your own terms, but in order to kind of carve that little niche out for yourself, it takes giving yourself some permission to do things that are a little bit different, giving yourself permission to not know all the answers. And that takes some confidence building for sure. And you will get there, and I can help you get there. And I totally know exactly how to take you from feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now, or maybe a lot, and unsure about the next steps or how you're going to do it or how you're going to manage it with doing other things that are important to you in your life. But I promise you that I get you. I understand you. I know you, and I know how to help you get through this journey and enjoy it. Creating a life that you love, creating a lifestyle that you love that is centered around family and education is so meaningful and so worthwhile. So stick with me, go on this journey with me, and I know you're going to come out the other side feeling like you're getting a lot of value from all the things that we are chatting about and all the different things that you are learning through this podcast. And speaking of lifelong learning, I too am going on a journey myself because I do believe in being a lifelong learner, and I always want to be growing as a person just as you are wanting to grow as well. And I'm in the process of learning new things all the time. For example, I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I know I said it was episode 1 tonight, but I also want you to know this is not just episode 1 of this podcast. This is episode 1 ever. Episode 1 ever of me podcasting is tonight, and you are here for it. You have made history, and you are part of my journey now. And so I would be just so grateful to be part of yours as well. So, as I'm learning new things and struggling with new things, I'm going to be able to talk through some of the new things that you're learning as well. So we are in this together for sure. All right. With that in mind, I hope you stay in touch. Please subscribe to my email list. There's a link to do so when you grab your freebie, Boost Your Self-Confidence, 7 Simple Strategies Every New Homeschool Mom Should Know. Again, you can get that at learntohomeschool.com/freebie. I will also link it into the show notes. And if you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram. My handle is at the Homeschool Company. And tell your friends. And let's create this community together. I really look forward to supporting you, and I can't wait to see it grow. You've got this. I'll see you at the next one. Bye.